Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. So in this video, I kind of thought or reminded myself that I hadn't looked at Enjin for a while. So Enjin is one of these interesting blockchain game projects that has been around for like the longest time. Did a successful kind of ICO back in the day of ICOs, and it's always doing stuff. And technically, is seen as a very good kind of platform. But also, I think despite having this very good kind of technical kind of expertise, I think it also kind of seems to be characterized by many of the problems that we face with blockchain games. So Enjin is kind of a blockchain game platform where you can create assets, NFTs, on the Ethereum blockchain. So it's Ethereum based, but it is its own platform. And in many ways, it's been very successful in terms of attracting projects. What it hasn't been very successful about is actually launching projects. Well, not obviously it's a platform, so it doesn't launch projects, but it's attracted a lot of games. We can see some of them here, but not many of them. I don't think any of them really of any importance have launched yet. So a lot of them are in various stages of testing, alpha, beta, whatever, and some of them have been in that situation for many years. But it is interesting because one of the reasons I was reminded was the Enjin coin, so the ENJ token, has been bouncing around like lots of cryptocurrencies at the moment. But it's been kind of up to kind of highs, certainly kind of the highest point for a couple of years. And while there are kind of news announcements around that, so Enjin has announced it's doing some more stuff with Minecraft. I mean, Enjin's background was always doing. Before blockchain was doing Minecraft servers, so they always have kind of good expertise there and a certain amount of community. But it did make me think, I wonder what's going on with Enjin. So I fired up this is the Enjin X Explorer. So it's the block explorer. So you get these with all blockchains, so we can have a look and see the transactions. So we can see all the transactions that it is kind of recording and all this kind of good stuff. We can look at some tokens. I mean, these are just ETH tokens based on the ETH blockchain. And really, what's most interesting is assets. So these are effectively NFTs. And we can see here, it's a really nice explorer, and it shows us some of these projects, and it tells us how many Enjin coins are contained within these projects, and obviously based on the value of the Enjin coin at any point in time, how much that's worth, or worth in dollars. And I guess this one here, 91k, is probably the amount of wallets that they're in. So we have these kind of games. So we have War of Crypto, Age of Rust, Crypto Fights, Altiverse, Nine Lives Arena, The Six Dragons, Forest Night. These are fairly well known, and we can kind of see how much value and how widely spread they are. Although a lot of this kind of stuff has been airdropped. Certainly, I've picked up some Enjin NFTs by not really doing very much apart from having an Enjin wallet. And what's really interesting to see, I guess, is let's have a look up here first. So the assets shows us some of the actual assets. So what are these actual NFTs? So we can see there's this NFT called the Monolith in the multiverse. The multiverse is kind of like a catch-all collection of NFTs that should work across a lot of Enjin-based games. So one really nice thing actually about these is you can. Going to work is you can melt stuff down. So every Enjin NFT, when you create it, you have to put some Enjin coins in there, and so if you melt the NFT, effectively you burn it, send it to a burner account. It's basically that they use the term melt. You actually extract the Enjin in there. In some ways, that's kind of good because it allows people not to have to. One of the big problems with NFTs is that they're only valuable if you can sell them on, and obviously that then depends on how much liquidity there is in the market, whether people want to buy and sell. And if it's a game that's kind of died, you may want to sell your NFTs, but obviously no one's going to buy it because the game's dead. And so this kind of gets around this problem, at least in the sense that every NFT has some sort of value. And you can always extract that. So we can see here people, normally you wouldn't get much value out of it, but potentially, I guess, because maybe because the price of these things is going up, some people are like sort of cashing out. I mean, the price of an Enjin coin is, I think it got up to about kind of 20 cents on the dollar. So you're not really generating, a lot of kind of fiat value from here. Really, so this would 25 Enjin would be, the recent peak would have been like $5, but $5 isn't nothing if you've got a lot of these things. So that's kind of interesting. But I guess when we look to see is a game, a blockchain game, or certainly is a blockchain platform, is it increasing in kind of value? Is there, what's going on there? It's not the only thing, but one thing you would definitely want to look at is activity. And really, I guess, looking at the Enjin thing, because they give us all this data, and that's kind of one of the nice things about blockchain, is you can see there's not really a lot. I mean, there is some selling going on here, so it's not like there's nothing. And some of these are going for, reasonable values. But because Enjin has this platform that is quite easy to create NFTs on, but there isn't any games that are kind of live with even a small amount of users, then you don't really have much activity going on here, considering all the NFTs that you've got. And in fact, you may actually have some people kind of seeing if they can, I don't know if you could arbitrage the price of Enjin. Maybe you could, I don't know. And the final thing, and this is kind of I guess the headline is, so on the platform, I guess this is saying there's 161 projects that have been built on Enjin. I mean, not all of those are games. Some of the, anyone could set up a project and create some NFTs on it. But if we look here, the weekly volume, and this is at a point where the Enjin, I mean, not today, but in the last week, the Enjin price has been fairly good historically. The weekly volume was 5,047 Enjin, which is about $1,000. So we can kind of see that building the technology, is not sufficient. And I guess we've kind of found this over the last kind of 2 years with blockchain in general. Is there's been quite a lot of good technical solutions. There's been some pretty bad ones as well, but certainly there's been some reasonable technical solutions. And certainly when it comes to blockchain gaming, Enjin is, I would say, probably the best technical solution for creating games around it. But just because you build it, I mean, they have come, but the audience hasn't come. And I would say, I don't think any of these games are of a sufficient level that anyone will play them and go, oh, what a good game. Some of these having interest because they're blockchain games, I think, or have done in the past at least. We can see the whole point, really, not the only point, but one of the key points of having a blockchain game is you have these assets in the game that you can buy and sell. And I think we see that with, not all the time sustained, but at certain points with the best blockchain games, My Crypto Heroes, not so much now, but 6 months ago you saw that with My Crypto Heroes. I guess you see that now a bit with Splinterlands, which has a reasonable marketplace for buying and selling cards. So I think we do see it, but I think it is always striking to me when you do have visibility into these things that there is really not much going on. I think there are multiple reasons for that, but I think it's something we should all kind of be quite aware of. And I think it is because in general we've kind of put the blockchain ahead of the game. So we've not been successful in encouraging gamers to get involved in blockchain games. We've been pretty successful in encouraging crypto people to at least delve into blockchain games. But I don't think we've been very successful in the fact that we're making games. I think this is not just a criticism of Enjin, this is a criticism across the board, that we have all these tools now and they work, but we haven't had the magic ingredient, which is fun games. Anyway, a bit of a rant there. Thanks for watching the video. Blockchain Gaming World, all about the world of blockchain games and working out how it works, and maybe making some suggestions when it doesn't. If you're interested in blockchain games, please do subscribe to the channel. But otherwise, thanks for watching this one, and hope to see you again soon.